Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. It is Monday, and it is good to be a YouTuber. I'm going to just tell you that right now. It is good to be a YouTuber because every single day there is some news that comes out. I mean, it is like you should never be at a loss for having something to talk about if you are a YouTuber, because there is always something to talk about. And today there is some news that has come out probably, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, that has come out. I had some things that I wanted to talk about, and then some other news came out. So we're going to spend some time talking about several things over the course of this live stream, over the course of the time that we have together. And so I want to say hello to some comic book soldiers that have joined me here in the room. Brian says, thank you for interrupting me doing my taxes. You are very welcome, Brian, for giving you a little bit of a distraction. Super honorable nephew was just talking to this guy. I did a quick live stream on the Instagram machine while I was waiting for something that I was picking up. EE is in the house. Backseat driver is here. Matthew is here. Ariel, my man, is here. Matt Woods is in the house, as is Michael P. Scrolling down through the names, seeing who else we have in here. Harvey Abel, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling down through the names, seeing who else we have in here. Altamista, Closet Geek, my man Vika. Hydra Collectibles is in the house from the UK. Mac Daddy Austin 109. Leonard is in here. TJ Slabdragon is in the house. It is good to see all of you guys, and I want to thank you for spending just a little bit of time with me hanging out. We had a good live stream last night. There were 155 of us at one point in last night's live stream. I don't always pay attention to the count up there, but at some point someone commented, I looked up and I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty good turnout. So I think that folks had a really good time during last night's Ready, Set, Go preview show. And if you have not yet seen that, I definitely want to encourage you to go check that out. We are streaming live on two platforms right now. We are on the YouTube machine, and we are also streaming on the Twitch. We're streaming on the Twitch as our second live stream on the Twitch, so we will see what happens with that. Squirrel Madness is in the house. How you doing? Simon R is in the house. How you doing? Adam, how you doing, man? It's good to see you, brother. Jeff, that's a new name I've never seen before, and if I have, I apologize. Jeff, welcome to the live stream, my friend. It is good to have you. All right, so as I mentioned, there were some things that I was going to talk about, and I will probably get to those things, but I am going to digress just a little and talk about some news that just dropped from the folks over at CGC. And I really do feel like there is a duel. There is a duel happening right now between two of the large grading companies as to who can outdo whom. And again, it's just my feeling. I'm being a little sensational. So this is an alert that just came out a short while ago from the folks over at CGC. They are now doing a private signing. They are going to be doing a private signing with the super talented Clayton Crane. And you can see one of his super creepy, super awesome covers over here on the right hand side. So they are going to be doing a private signing with Clayton Crane, and they're basically going to be doing it in conjunction with what would have been, or what will be potentially, a con that is happening later in June. So it says here that CGC is excited to announce another CGC in-house private signing, this time with Clayton Crane. Crane is an American comic book artist known for his work with Marvel Comics, including Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, Carnage, Venom. He also has drawn for Valiant and DC Comics. I enjoy meeting everyone at the comic conventions and look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, we can pass the time, says Crane, in our long distance relationship with an in-house signing. For all, and this is now CGC talking, for all for this event, all CGC members, including free CGC members, can submit collectibles directly to CGC, and CGC will coordinate with Clayton Crane to have the collectible signed around the time of MegaCon in Orlando, which was rescheduled. It's been rescheduled for May 4th through the 7th. And I think MegaCon was originally in April. Maybe it was like April 20th, 21st, something like that. It has been rescheduled to June 4th. And so they are going to try to coordinate this thing. It says many guests have already blah, blah, blah. Let me skip through some of this stuff. They're basically saying that, hey, if you send your books in and because of what is happening out there in the world, if things are delayed and it's postponed or canceled or whatever, they're actually going to store everything in a vault. They actually talk a little bit about that. So let me see. After Crane signs the collectibles, CGC will grade and encapsulate the collectibles with an expedited turnaround time of only 3 weeks. If CCS pressing is also requested, the expedited turnaround time will be 6 weeks. Once graded and encapsulated, the collectibles will be shipped back to their owners. CGC will provide signing and scheduling updates via eBlast and on all social media channels. So what do you get? What do you get and how much does it cost? The fee is $70 per item, which includes his signature, expedited turnaround time of 3 weeks, expedited turnaround time of 6 weeks if CGC grading and CCS pressing, right? An additional $20 fee applies to the pressing, and encapsulation with the iconic yellow signature series label. And if you want to participate in this thing, it'll cost you $70, but then you also have to send your books in by May 25th, 2020 to be eligible for the event. And then there's all kinds of other details down here for this exclusive private signing event. You can ship submissions directly to CGC with free membership, paid membership are also available, blah, 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 blah. You can see there's a ton of details here. If anybody hasn't received this thing, it may actually be on CGC's website. And if not, if you send me an email to Regie@RegieCollects.com, I will forward it to you. REGIE, Regie@RegieCollects.com. I will forward this email to you. But Clayton Crane is doing a private signing with the folks over at CGC. And again, you can't help but think this is a little bit in response to what CBCS is also doing with their mega signing with, what is it, 6 or 7 different really talented artists. So just some cool stuff. Again, I say it tongue in cheek that it's a battle. I don't think that it really is. I think that the CGC is trying to take advantage, and CBCS trying to take advantage of the situation to make these signature opportunities available to people who would otherwise be seeing these creators at cons. And because cons can't happen, they're like, hey, let's work something out. So Collecto6, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Seeing what else you guys are talking about. But honestly, if you want it graded, I would definitely send it to CGC to get signed, is what he's saying. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Mark Spector, how you doing? He says they're slacking. Mark Spector is saying that because if you watch the videos that I've been talking about, CBCS is actually having, I think it's like 6 people or something like that, including Donnie Cates and Frank Miller. And here comes CGC with like 1 person. They kind of picked a price point kind of sort of in between, right? So they're like, Frank Miller wants $100 for CBCS, and then other people are like 20 or 25. They're like, hey, we're just going to do $70. We're going to expedite it. We're going to get it turned back around. So they kind of picked the spot in the middle of those others. There can only be one, says Flash fan number 11. So let me see what else you guys are talking about. Daryl, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Crane versus Kate/Miller. I know who wins. I don't tell me who wins. Tell me. Donnie Cates is dope. I'm gonna be honest with you. Donnie Cates is pretty dope. Clayton Crane is pretty dope. I don't know who wins in that. Squirrel Madness, you have to tell me, brother. Let me know. You tell me who wins in the battle of the private signings. I don't know. You send it back and forth between the two of them. I don't know, brother. I don't know. Never crack a 9.8. Someone says, brother. Yeah. Stay out of my emails. Stay out of my stuff. Don't look at my stuff. Let me hide my stuff. Matthew trying to call me out, man. Yeah, I have a lot of emails, a lot of spam. What is this? 150 peeps Want that Regie signature exclusive? Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna bring that fire when I get my label. It'll be a red label and it'll be gorgeous. Have my face on there, like, because those are the screen grabs you guys post up on Instagram is when I'm doing stuff like. Now that would be cool, man. I'm telling you, it'd be cool to have a label or a cover or some other that stuff. You know, I'm working towards it. I'm trying to make some magic happen. I'm trying to make some magic happen here. I have 0 new emails on my Google account, man. I'm telling you, I get a lot of emails, brother, across several different accounts, man. I have a couple personal, couple of professional, lots of emails, man. Lots of emails. TJ, you should just change your name to TJ CGC Slab Dragon Watson, right? Just throw CGC right up in the name, brother. Oh man. Brother, the gibbon is, you know what would be dope? Having the gibbon come up out of the grave like they did on that one. Was it Web of Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man? I can't remember. It was one of those where Peter is coming up out of the grave after he's been buried by Craven, right? It'd be dope to have the gibbon just bust up out, right? Because the gibbon died. The gibbon died in the newest run of ASM 18.HU. He is dead. So we need to have him rise from the grave again. No, the thing is, people post these photos up on Instagram and they tag me, and I'm like, can you at least get a handsome face? I can't look like that all the time. Where my face like, I can't. There has to be a moment in which I look normal. Like, I don't know how normal that was. I don't know how normal that was. Let me scroll down. What is this? I think a Regie Gibbon variant ASM cover. The thing is that you need sexy. You need sexy for a cover. If you think about J. Scott Campbell, his covers sell because they're sexy. There is nothing sexy about a hairy gibbon. I'm gonna just be honest with you. There's nothing sexy about it. You can't make the gibbon sexy. You need a sexy cover. Natasha, how you doing? It is good to see you. Natasha hooks me up with a super dope Pepper Potts exclusive variant from CIA in the Netherlands. It is sitting off in one of the bins off to my side over here. She hooks me up big time. I looked for probably 20 minutes trying to that I could actually use for the thumbnail for the video. And I don't think I was able to successfully find one. It's not a whole lot of really good photos or of Pepper Potts out there, unfortunately. Like a lot of them from the Iron Man movies, but not from the comic books themselves that I could actually use. Mama. No, you just take a hairy, ugly man, Martin Blank, and you make it worse by making him a zombie. You can't do that. You can't make it worse. You have to make it better. Scrolling down. Shut up. Are you serious? TJ, you're awesome, bro. You are sexy gibbon. There is no such thing. There's no such thing. No such thing. Scrolling down through the comments here. What is this? Daryl says, bought a Fantastic Four 50 on eBay today, slabbed and graded by PGX at an 8.5, debating as to whether it should be cracked and sent to CGC when I get it. Yeah, I would encourage you, bro. That's actually not a bad grade, right? I would encourage you definitely to take a look at it through the plastic and see whether you can see pressable defects, right? Because the question is, has the book been pressed or not, right? You have to ask yourself that. And sometimes it's you take a shot on goal. Sometimes you take a shot on gold. Depending upon how much you paid, you should definitely evaluate if that book were to drop to, a 7.75, right? Whether it would still be worth it to you to have a CGC label on there, or whether you just roll with the PGX 8.5. I would look through the plastic, see if you can find some pressable defects. And if so, then you could potentially send it in, get it pressed, get it cleaned, and maybe have it come back at a solid grade from CGC, So you definitely, and I recommend that for anybody that's actually thinking about cracking a book, whether it be PGX or whoever. Look at it through the plastic and see whether there's pressable defects that you spot, and then ask yourself, how much did you pay? And then how much is it going to get, cost you to have that book clean, pressed, cracked, regraded, all that kind of stuff. And then ask yourself, is it worth it if that grade drops a little? Because that could happen. Sometimes you see the success stories. You're like, oh, they got a grade bump. grade bumps don't always happen. They don't always happen. So you just have to wrap your mind around that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I have nothing against PGX, and you've never heard me say anything negative about PGX or any other grading company, because that's not what I do. That would be like one of those cats without the hair. It would just be super creepy, like that Sphinx cat with the wrinkles and the no. Matthew, don't be nasty. Scrolling down to Randy, the winner of last night's Go Collect giveaway, has just entered. Everybody stand up. And I'm only doing it because the guy's already claimed his prize. It is literally sitting on my porch right now, man, waiting for the United States postal worker to come by the house and actually pick it up and get it taken care of. What about the new Gibbon is revealed as oh, stand up, Jim Barnes. That would be super dope. Maybe we can make Martin Blank a little bit more attractive in the next version. Maybe a little less plain, little more attractive, little bit more dynamic, like my regular comic book soldiers. Scrolling down through that. What was it? The Gibbon writing something. I lost the comment there. Man. Yeah, man. The wife is under the weather. She's been sick for about 6 days, and she went to the ER this morning. I had to take her to the ER, and then had to come back and pick her up a couple of hours later after, they ran some tests and things like that. And we think that it's just a virus, a normal virus, not COVID. They actually did a CT scan, and I think it was a CT scan, and realized that there was no inflammation in her lungs or in her gastrointestinal tract. And so we think that it's just something that has to run its course. Thankfully, the hospital was basically completely empty. The ER was basically completely empty. She was literally the only patient there because so many people are actually staying home and or afraid to go in. So she masked up and all that kind of stuff, and, went in and got checked out, and, not feeling better yet, but fingers crossed that she will, feel better really soon, because I need her help. So Clay says, I really wanted to get some comics graded this year by dropping them off at shows to save on money. Yeah, that is unfortunately, that's not going to happen, right? But what I always recommend to people is that, you can send your books in, and what you would do is you would just send in more books than you normally would, right? That way it brings down your per unit book cost, right? Because you're spreading the cost across multiple books. So, yes, it's more expensive to send in more books. Absolutely. Right. So, you have to balance that. You have to balance what you're trying to do with the responsibility, all right, of spending that kind of money to get books clean, press, graded, and all that kind of stuff, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Not cheap at all. But, you would also have to ask yourself, are you really saving money, right? Because if you're going to a con and you have to stand in line and you have to come back to that con multiple days, which means that you need multiple passes in order to get into that con, and you have to pay for gas, you have to pay for parking. How much money are you really saving? On the surface of it, it looks like you're actually saving a lot of money. But when you really break it down to the dollars and cents, when you look at how much time you're going to have to put into it, when you have to look at how many trips you have to make, and you have to stand in line, you have to have multiple days passes, and you have to pay for parking, and you may have to pay for food, then you have to get to CGC and stand in line again, blah, 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 blah. Is it really cheaper than just dropping the books in the mail via FedEx or UPS or whatever it is that you happen to use? So something to think about, man. Something to think about. What is this? Best online sites to buy comics other than eBay, My Comic Shop, and Nucadia. Search for Regie Collects Resources. Regie Collects Resources. There was a video that is set up with some recommendations. I think you can also search for Regie Collects Apps, and I also give you a couple of apps that you may want to check out. So jump on that and check it out. There is a question here. Question from the Twitch. Question from the Twitch. Gamer Girl 69096. What is your question? Make sure that you click on that link in the description of my various videos, and click the affiliate link if you're going to do CGC, because I have an affiliate link in the description of the videos to give a couple of bucks back to the channel. So if you're going to do it. And then also make sure you check out all the videos that I have on the channel to talk about how to submit buttons or books, step-by-step process, how to do the declare value, how to bundle your books up for shipping, all that kind of stuff. Lots of really good videos that I think will actually help people. So if you get a chance, try to check that out. All right. Gamer Girl Let me know if you have your question here. I see a couple of comments from you, but not a question yet. I will keep my eyes open for it. Again, if you throw it up in all caps, it will actually help me to see it a little bit better. Thank you, Yamaha Joe, bro. I definitely appreciate that. Says he got negative test back today. Big relief. That's what's up, man. There's a lot going on in the world, man. A lot going on in the world. And it's nice when you can actually get some good news, some positive news, right? So there is one other thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, and hopefully I don't miss people's questions as they trickle in. The one thing that we've talked about thus far is the CGC in-house private signing that they are doing with Clayton Crane. And so if you missed that, I will try to recap it at the very end. That was the very first thing that we talked about, Gabriel. We actually talked about that, and I will try to get back to it in just a second. So bear with me as I try to talk about a few other things that were top of mind for me. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because this is actually something that I touched on during yesterday's Ready, Set, Go preview show. And it was the fact that DC had donated a chunk of money. DC donated $250,000 to charity to actually help comic book stores survive. And that was a lot of money. And I wasn't quite sure how they were going to do it. But this article actually provides us with a little bit of guidance into how DC is going to handle this donation. And let me see if I can find it here. In response to the ongoing crisis and its impact on the comic book direct market, DC is donating $250,000 to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation to provide support to comic book retailers and their employees during this time of hardship and beyond. And it says here that BINC, BINC, I don't know how you say it, is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to assisting booksellers in need, including comic book booksellers. In the past, they have offered financial assistance to comic book stores affected by natural disasters and other unexpected financial crises. So I had never really heard of this organization before. And so I decided to pop over to their website because I was like, who is this and how is this all going to work? So this is the website, BINC, the Book Industry Charitable Foundation. And you can see BINCfoundation.org. They have, you can see here, 1 in 5 booksellers has experienced a financial emergency in the last 2 years. And that's why there is the need for this organization. I think it's actually pretty solid. But what I found, and let me see if I can actually find where I was looking for that. Yeah. Let me show you this one. This one is actually going to give us a little bit of some additional insight into how these funds can actually be used. So these are some of the criteria here. Dependent upon each bookseller's circumstances, BINC may be able to help with medical expenses or personal household expenses under the following circumstances. If a bookstore employee contracts an illness and cannot go to work, if a member of the bookseller's household contracts an illness and the employee is forced to quarantine themselves to prevent further spread of the virus, if a bookseller loses more than 50% of their scheduled work hours because residents are told not to go to work. This one is huge. If a bookseller, a retailer, loses more than 50% of their scheduled work hours, they can actually tap into the funds that BINC actually offers. You can see here, if a bookseller loses more than 50% due to mandatory quarantine, right? It goes on to basically say, that this money is there. This money is ready and available for people to actually use. If you are employed by a bookseller, comic books or otherwise, you can potentially apply for these. And definitely if you are a comic shop owner who has been impacted, and which of them has not, you can actually get some assistance from the Book Industry Charitable Foundation. And again, I had never heard of this before, but it was because of DC's $250,000 donation that it captured my attention. And I was like, well, how are they going to do that? Are they going to give the money directly to comic shops? And the answer is no. They're going to give it to this organization. And I'm guessing that the retailers and or the employees have to head over to the BINCfoundation.org website and apply for these funds. Now, this is an addition to some of the government money that will also be available to retailers as well. So let me Let me close this out. Let me go back to the chat to see if you guys are talking about this at all. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a second. And Lee, we're going to get on that one in just a second. What is this? This is what bothers me. LCSs should be able to make more profit on their end so that they can take care of what needs to be taken care of rather than waiting for a donation after things to go bad. Don't know that I don't know that I could disagree with that. I don't know that I could disagree with that. And I was actually engaging someone in a discussion. And if you think about some of the retailers that I've brought on the channel here, what they've talked about to some degree or another is diversification. Right? They are diversified in the sense that they're not just doing new comics. They're doing old comics. They're doing toys. They're doing statues. They're doing other collectibles. They're doing other types of services like cleaning, pressing, CGC submission. They're doing other things in order to diversify their offerings versus just relying upon new comics, right? Some of the retailers are like, hey, I have savings. I have money set aside, not necessarily for this because no one saw this coming, but I have money set aside in case things go bad. I have retailers that have said, I have books set aside that if a bill comes in and I don't have the cash because I have cash on hand, if I don't have enough, I can go sell a book. I have a bin set aside with books for rainy days in order to tap into. So some retailers are doing that. Some retailers are. That's why some of them, if you remember, are like other retailers are like Chicken Little. Some of the retailers are like, I have some reserves. I can weather through some of this. But I think that you're spot on. I think that you're spot on. No doubt about that. But like, let's be also honest in that the margins associated with comics are not big. They're not big, right? A lot of people complain about the price of comics, new comics that come out, and they're like, $4 is too much. Technically, roughly $4 has been the average price for the last 10 years of comics. Those are facts. Comicron, you can go check it out. But we also know that the margin for comics is also really low. I think retailers basically get 50% off. So imagine trying to run an entire store on a $2 profit per book. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough, so and I think that it's more complicated than what I'm alluding to here. I definitely get that. There's a lot more nuance to it. But for the purpose of keeping the conversation going, we have to keep it moving on. What is this? Reggie, what's going on with your wall? Also, how do you get on with your goal? I'm not sure that I follow those comments. Scrolling down through the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Scrolling, I lost a comment here. Yeah, so that's ridiculous. That's like saying, hey, you have to get sick and then we'll help you out rather than helping the LCS prevent this in the first place by making sure LCS get their fair share of the profit. I mean, again, they are getting their fair share, right? They knew what the profit margins were before they actually went into this thing, right? Grocery stores actually operate on a 1% profit on the vast majority of things that are actually sold. Again, you know what you're getting yourself into when you actually take some of this stuff on. What if when Wanda depowered all the world's mutants, the Gibbon's regular human form was... You're a nut. That'd be one handsome Gibbon. I'm going to just say that right now. One handsome devil. Scrolling down through the comments here. So, let me see. So there was another comment someone here made about how Jim Lee probably makes a lot more money than that. So as you saw here in this article, Jim Lee auctions sketches. So Jim Lee is definitely getting in on the action and he is raising additional funds, as are several other artists out there. He is raising funds in order to donate money. And I don't know if his funds are going to go to this BINC as well, but he is definitely doing some really cool sketches and making these sketches available for people to buy. And so if you have some sick money, man, you can actually get in on some of this Jim Lee action. So here is, let me show this thing. This is Chunky Monkey. I don't make this stuff up. This is Chunky Monkey, 4 zeros. Chunky Monkey 0000, right? This is where Jim Lee's sketches are currently being sold. And you can see here a Batman Who Laughs 9x12 sketch is actually currently 36 bids. It is at $5,900. $5,900. And I believe that Jim is actually going to sketch, I think he's going to sketch 60 different sketches in order to raise funds for local comic shops. And so here is here's another sketch right here. Pretty cool sketch. How much was this one? This one is at $9,100. Wow, that is impressive. Each one of the sketches that he puts up here is basically going to run for, I believe, 3 days. And this is the Dr. Fate. There's 22 hours left on that. There are 3 hours left on this sketch. And this one is at $5,900 with 2 days left. That is expensive. That one's going to go for a nice chunk of money. 2 days left on that one. Wow. So again, Jim Lee is also getting in on the action. Says, let me see if I can pop this other screen back up here, and then I'll go back to the chat in just a sec. So bear with me here. I want to go back to this screen one more time to see if there's some cool details here. Updated as of April 5th, Jim Lee's 2 monthly daily auctions of 60 original 9x12 DC character sketches has gotten off to a fast start. The first sketch of Nightwing fetched a robust $6,500 Bizarro. Currently at $3,500. I guess that one ended already because we did not see that one. The new sketches added over the weekend. You can see what that is. And oh, here we go. Proceeds will be donated to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation aimed at helping comic book stores and their employees during the Corona crisis. So there you go. Cool stuff that is actually going down that Jim Lee is personally leading, and he's also getting DC to step up as well as publisher, sole publisher, with a $250,000 donation. So let me bounce back to the chat, see what you guys are talking about. Get rid of that screen. Batman Who Laughs is dope. No doubt. No doubt. Can I borrow $6,000? OA ain't cheap. That man, OA ain't cheap for real. That stuff is expensive. I mean, it is gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. But I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. A lot of people have asked me, Reggie, what is your position on original art? I love it, but I'm poor. That's what I tell them. I love it, but I'm poor, and I cannot get involved in any of that stuff. Let me see. What is this? Maybe LCSs can get some stock from DC Marvel, have to sell their comics. Also give stocks to their execs as an incentive to hire. Yeah. So let me see what else you guys are talking about. Scrolling through the comments. Chunky Monkey. Somebody put claim on it. Get it, brother. Master Blaster. Get it. Oh man, that is hilarious. This stuff is super, super expensive. So, so let me see what else you guys are talking about here. Your move, Marvel. Ooh. The gauntlet has been thrown down again. Adam Club, man, I'm telling you, where is Marvel? And I was talking about this last night, where I was saying that DC was criticized a little bit in those early days for their slow response, right? Because Marvel was like, hey, we're going to make a lot of things returnable and stuff like that. And then we didn't hear from DC, right? And DC kind of issued a statement talking about they were looking at these alternative methods of distribution. But, it was, then they were like, yeah, we're going to do something. We're going to offer returnability as well. But now, man, now they are stepping on the gas, right? I mean, you are putting your money where your mouth is. And I think that that is fantastic. I really do think that it's fantastic. So, here's the thing. You see CGC and CBCS are going after it, right? And, and like, in all fairness, right? I believe that I believe that creators make a nice chunk of money from doing these private signings, right? When they are doing their sketches and they're signing and stuff like that, they make a nice chunk of money, I do believe, from doing these different types of activities. And yeah, I'm certain that they do it because they get to interact with fans, but there's also some money involved. And so I like the fact that CGC and CBCS are still trying to support the creators by doing these signings. Yes, those organizations make some money, but yes, they also put some money in the hands of some of the creators and or facilitators who happen to be involved. I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing. So, what can you do? What can you do? I do not. Scrolling, I think you asked me that question earlier today in the, or someone did in the IG live stream. I do not. Scrolling through, You could just leave it at the front door, bro. Just roll by with that $1 million check and just leave it on the front porch for me, bro. I got you covered. I'll cash it right away. Don't you worry about it. I'm teasing. Silver Age Dave is in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Sully Two Kings, bro. Thank you for hanging out just a little bit. I definitely appreciate that. Talked to my LCS today, and they are delivering my comics to me tonight. Man, bro, the thing, you know what I'm really starting to realize, right, is I'm looking on Instagram because I love IG. And I'm looking at like Krusty Bunker, and I'm looking at other comic shops because I follow comic shops all across the country, to be honest with you. Like if I go to a shop and I meet the owners and that kind of stuff, I kind of follow them. And then if a shop is posting up really cool books, I follow it as well. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot more shops are open than maybe what people think. A lot more shops are actually still doing business online. They're doing virtual sales. They're doing Instagram sales. They're doing business on Facebook. They're taking orders, right? If you want to send orders in to them via email, a lot more shops are making themselves available than maybe what we appreciate. Yes, there are no new books. There are no new books, but they still have collectibles and comics that can be sold. And so again, we talked about this last night. You don't necessarily have to give them money. But what you can do is you can say, hey, there are some things that you have that I want to buy. Buy them, right? Because there's no new books to come out. So you should have a couple of extra bucks. Super chat dropped in by Jim Barr. Oh, he said for the Regie Gibbon variant. So I have an email in. I have actually several emails out. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm trying to make some magic happen. I have an email out right now to a publisher where I am trying to better understand the requirements around their variant covers. And fingers crossed that I can make some magic, because I think that it would be really cool to be able to do it. And it would be really cool. It would be really cool to see a Regie Collects variant, to see it like encapsulated and on my wall, at a certain point, I think in life, it becomes about the experiences that one gets to have. We talked about this before. It's easy to spend money, but if you can spend some money and actually get an experience out of it, it makes it all the more rewarding, which is like part of the reason why when I go to comic shops, I don't just go in and buy books. I go in and I talk to people, and I'm an introvert, right? But I go in to talk to the owners. I talk to the people that are working at the shops. I talk to you guys, right? Because it is about the experience. So shout out to Jim Barnes for hooking me up with the super chat right there, and for contributing to the Regie Gibbon variant. Oh, so let me also clear one other thing. I am not opening a comic shop. I know that there has been, I made a joke, and then somebody was like, I think it was like one or two people like, so are you opening up a comic shop? No, I am not opening up a comic shop. It would be dope, but I don't think that that is my course. I don't think that that is my lot in life to open up a comic shop. I really don't. At some point, maybe I'll be a private dealer or something like that. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Reggie, my LCS is still open here in Southeast Missouri. Not sure for how much longer. I didn't know you were in Missouri, bro. Oh, yes, I did. You're not talking about Bigfoot, right? Which one are you talking about? Because I know a lot of those shops. I hit a lot of those shops last time I was there. I was driving around all over God's country looking for different comic shops to hit up. So what is this? What our LCS is going to realize is that they can make better money running this virtual shop out of their home. Man, I'm telling you, bro, there are shops that are like, I have never shipped books. So now I'm starting to ship books, and I didn't have a website before with an e-commerce setup. And now I'm starting to set up e-commerce, and now I'm starting to sell some of these books that I've been keeping over here in this bin that people aren't coming in the store to buy. I think that comic shops will potentially get a little bit smarter. Those that survive, because there will be some shops that go out of business. There is no doubt about that. But I believe that those shops that will survive because they've gotten smarter about their business. Those shops that survive what happened in the 90s, those owners, in my opinion, are savvy. because they found a way to navigate through those waters. Those people that survive these ups and downs in the economy have become smarter as a result of going through that. We all become smarter as we go through different trials and tribulations. It's not to say that we don't make mistakes. We make different mistakes, right? We go through stuff, we learn from it, and then we continue on, hopefully getting smarter and smarter, avoiding more and more things. But that is my belief. That is my belief, is that those that will survive will actually do incredibly well because they are tapping into different types of creative energies in order to weather this storm. And I think that it's fantastic. Collab with you. Come on now, bro. You come on, man. Come on, collab with the shop you're close with. It'll help. Come on, come on, I'm always operating on multiple levels at the same time. So yeah, we're all over that one. Trust me. No, it isn't. What is it? No, it is not Bigfoot. But I live close to South St. Louis now. Lived in Belleville. Yeah. Okay, that's right. You and the girlfriend. That's right. I remember that. Okay. All right. Scrolling through. I'm in the middle of making some mistakes now. Just bid on a bunch of my favorite artist covers. I am never going to recover from this financially. Sorry. I'm quoting the Tiger King. He says, I'm never going to recover from this financial. My man, Closet Geek, bro. It's good Closet Geek, my man, Vika. It is good to see you, brother. As always. What is it? I mean, I used to love going to the drive-in, the arcade, the record store, and the movies too. Don't do that anymore. Heard that. One of the differences in my mind, to be honest with you, is that there's a lot more that goes into a comic shop visit. When I visit a comic shop, I tend to socialize with other people that are shopping there, and I definitely socialize with the comic shop owner. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a little bit different. I know what you're saying there, and I'm not trying to argue, but it's a little different, than going into a record like a Sam Goody or something like that. You go to Sam Goody, no one even speaks to you in Sam Goody when they were open. Same thing with Best Buy, to be honest with you, right? But you go to a local comic shop that is run by a good proprietor, and he or she will greet you. As soon as you walk in the door, he or she will immediately get out of their seat and go over to your pull box and grab your stuff because they already know your name. Right? He or she will ask, is there anything that you're looking for today? If they don't know who you are, right? You don't get that. You don't get that with other types of retail experiences. At least, again, in the good shops that I've gone to. I've gone into a lot where they're like, hey, I see you, you see me, we don't speak. All right, so let me see. There was a super chat that was dropped. Oh, man, Tony Trebetta. EGS is open. Use coupon code Regie Collects for 10%. This was not planned. This is impromptu. Shout out to you, Tony Trebetta. Man, I'm telling you, if you guys haven't seen the super dope covers that Tony Trebetta puts out, right? So he basically gets your books and he will color coordinate the book that you're submitting with the label. And it's dope. Someone actually sent me I think they got 8 books graded by EGS, which is a third-party grading service that is out there. And every one of them was really well coordinated with the label. So instead of getting like a blue label or yellow label, you actually get one that is color coordinated to the cover of your book. So my man, Tony Trebetta, who is the owner of EGS, is basically making it available. If you guys want to use the code Regie Collects, you can get 10% off. Tony, drop the URL for the website in the chat, put it up in all caps so people can find it. That way people can actually head over to the website, take a look at it, and take advantage of this opportunity that you are now presenting them with. And again, thank you, bro, for the super chat. I absolutely appreciate it. So I'm going to scroll down through some of the comments here. See what else you guys are talking about. What is this? Hey, Reggie, your videos on Go Collect are pretty great. Always neat to see a familiar face. Thank you, bro. I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate that. So for those that don't know, I basically do a weekly video for Go Collect. It comes out every Wednesday, and it's basically just a recap of blog posts that bloggers have sent in to Go Collect. And I basically touch on some of the high points of those articles. And it's a fun video. It's a fun video to put together. I think the next one, of course, is going to be dropping in a couple of days. And it's a cool little thing, man. So if you guys get a chance, check them out. The videos are averaging I don't know, better results than my videos in some cases. I mean, they're getting on average like 1,200 views or something like that every single video, which I think is a really good testament to the content that the bloggers create, as well as the really creative editing job. I think it has a lot to do with the content and the editing that Go Collect Invest. Makes me want to actually get an editor. Makes me want to get an editor. So I'm going to scroll down through the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Hey, Allison, how you doing? It is definitely good to see you. Thank you for hanging out just a little bit. What is this? I buy all my comics online. They tend to have a better selection. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with the spokesman. I don't know. I need to fix my eyebrows before one of you guys get a screen grab of that with the eyebrows. I don't know. No, I think Go Collect and I, man, have had a relationship now for I think like almost 2 years. I think we're in our second year, and I think that they are generally pleased with how I conduct things and how I represent them and how I'm consistent, right? I'm very consistent in the things that I do. And I think that my brand, if you will, resonates and dovetails quite nicely with their brand. And so I can tell you for a fact that is always some of the things that I'm actually looking for in partners that I team up with. Is I want to make sure that how I represent myself is matched on the other side and vice versa. And I can tell you for a fact that I've actually had conversations and they're like, hey, how we conduct ourselves and represent ourselves in public is exactly how you are. And so that's when you know it's actually a really good thing. You know what I'm saying? The last thing you want is a mismatch between what one company wants to do and who they partner with. It just doesn't work. But if it does work, then it works really well. And so I think Go Collect is pretty happy with that. So do I recommend any one-shot crossovers to collect? I don't really read many crossovers, to be honest with you. And I'm guessing, are you talking about crossovers between publishers? If so, definitely not. If you're talking about crossovers from titles, then I might be able to make a couple of recommendations, but I would need a little bit of clarification there. So stupid super chat doesn't want to let me say what. So that's why they wouldn't let you make a super chat, because you were saying something in there. Comic Collection Agency, my man Juan, how you doing? Who showed up at Garage Con, bought books and brought gifts. Love this dude. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. I definitely appreciate that. So throw it up in all caps, brother, so I can see what it is that you're actually going to talk about. What is this? Lots of places I've seen online are trying to move their products online with deals and whatnot, but made from the locals. So there you go. That is when the best partnerships actually work, man. When everybody is on the same page and you're moving in the same direction and growing together and learning together, that is what success looks like. It really is. That is what success looks like. So scrolling down through the comments here, a couple of comments about theaters and how they will bounce back. That is true. That is true. And you can release movies, man. You can release movies direct to someone's home for streaming, and depending upon their setup and all that kind of stuff, it's a good experience, you know? But there is nothing like true. There is nothing like going to a theater and having that shared experience of watching a movie with a room full of other people on such a massive screen with the sound that basically just wraps all around you. You know what I'm saying? And if you go to the upscale place where you get the leather chair that lays back like you're at home, it is fantastic. Just don't lean back too far and go to sleep. That's all I'm saying to you. But yeah, I firmly do believe that things will change as a result of what is happening in the world. And we are not going to talk about Voldemort because YouTube will ding my video. So we're not going to talk about Voldemort. But what I will say is that things will change as a result. And there will be businesses that will go out of business. There will be businesses that do not rebound. But I believe that the companies that survive through this will learn a lot. They will find a way to have diversified themselves and found new ways to survive, and they will be stronger than they were before as a result. And so that is my belief. That is my belief. Only time will tell. I have never bought from Macari. I've never really been impressed with the Macari's selection of material, but I know some people that have bought from Macari. And again, I have videos out there that talk about a couple of apps. If you search for Regie Collects Resources, there is a video that talks about things that I use to hang up the stuff on my wall back there, as well as different websites that I shop on, as well as different apps that I use to buy comics. Generally speaking, if there is a topic that you're interested in, I have a video on it, and I say it knowing that my channel has 904 videos, which is just ridiculous. That is just a ridiculous number of videos. 904. Cuz Buzz is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's definitely to help complete the Fantastic Four. Man, brother, that Fantastic Four #1. I still wish that I had pulled the trigger on that one. But I was at the time of that, I was spending so much money. And that book was climbing so rapidly. And at the time of like the Fox deal was announced, it was X-Men 1 taking off, ASM 1 taking off, FF1 taking off. And I got 2 out of the 3. I got 2 out of the 3, and I could not pull the trick on that last one. But at some point, maybe I'll get a couple of those low number FF books, because some of them, man, are just they're not only gorgeous covers, they're actually pretty interesting reads, as long as Sue isn't fainting. Not a fan of the fainting Sue. Not a fan of that. I wouldn't crack open AF-15 if you decided to send it to CGC, take many photos of the book, and let CGC crack it out of that PGXK. Oh, I think you're having a conversation with somebody. If anyone has an AF-15, they should just send it to me, and I will hold it for safekeeping. All right. I think that is what should happen. What is this? Hey, if you can't get 1 million views on one video, oh, well done. If you can't get 1 million views on one video, get 1 million views on 904. Well done. Oh, well done. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. Man, I'm gonna tell you, it would be dope to get 1 million views on one. I wonder what that looks like. So Jacob is asking a question. So yeah, if you want to know what I use to hang it up there, definitely take a look at the Regie Collects Resources video. Regie Collects Resources. If you search for that on YouTube, you can actually find a really cool video on which I actually show exactly. And if you head over to regiecollects.com, you can actually get a discount code for the company that I use to hang all that stuff up. How do I decide? I honestly, I try to keep it exciting for people. I try to put up different stuff. So I'm always just kind of playing with the wall back there. But that big piece in the middle that you see back there was actually a gift from a subscriber. It is actually a hand painted recreation of Fantastic Four 49. And because I decided to hang that up there, a lot of what I've been putting on either side of it has basically been a lot of Jack Kirby creations. And so a lot of cosmic related stuff, which is why you see what you see up there. But at some point, I'll probably take that stuff down and mix it up and do something a little bit different. Despite the fact that I have the big cosmic piece in the middle, I may decide to do some other things. But I've had all Spider-Man walls. I've had non-Marvel walls. I've had all Marvel walls. I've had all red covers and yellow covers and white covers. I've had all different kinds of variations. And it's just about having some fun and showing off my collection, right? At the end of the day, that's what that wall is really about. So in about 15 minutes, I'm going to have a new video release. So I'm going to be wrapping this thing up in just a couple of minutes. So Regie Collects, are you going to be buying an Amazing Fantasy 15 anytime soon? You have to stay tuned for the video, my friend. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that, because I'm gonna tell you, there are some things that I'm working on in the background that are going to blow people away. There are some things that I'm working on in the background that are going to blow people away. And I'm not talking about from like an egotistical standpoint or look at how much money I spent. That is not what I'm talking about. It is about the experiences. The experiences is what I am after. And so what I will say to you, Isaac, is stay tuned for the video. That's what I will say. Scrolling the fainting suit. Man, I I'm not a huge fan of the save me, big strong man type of stuff. And that's just my opinion. I don't know if women ever actually fainted. I don't know if real women, like actual like real women, ever actually fainted from shock. So that to see it in a comic book, I'm kind of like, mm. And now you look at her and she's an extremely powerful woman with her abilities. But back then she was a fainter. She was in a love triangle. She didn't know whether she loved this guy or the bad boy. And it was just, it was a little soap opera-y. But still, it was in the time in which it was done, it was cool. But looking back on it, I'm kind of like, so hopefully you guys get that. Scrolling down through some of the comments, seeing what else you guys are talking about. What do I think of the grading company PGX? I think that PGX is a grading company that is out there that is available to folks to get their books graded and encapsulated. I think that they have a unique position in the marketplace that a lot of people have opted to take advantage of. There are folks out there that absolutely love what PGX is actually doing, and I think that it's great. I think that it's great that there's some competition out there that is providing the market with some options, right? And I throw up here on screen EGS, because EGS is also a third-party grading company that is out there, the same as PGX and CBCS and CGC. And these are all great and wonderful offerings. And I think people that want to get their books graded, whether it be raw grading or slabs, should look at what is out there in the market and decide for themselves what is best for them. And what I decided to do is I actually I actually took out a sheet of paper, I drew a line down the middle, and I put one grading company on either side of the line. And I basically wrote out the different services that were appealing to me. And at the end, I decided which grading company that I was going to go with, because I evaluated their services based upon my need, and I made a decision for my collection based upon that. And so if you are trying to decide, I think you should definitely look at that. I think it's important that people evaluate these things for themselves. So because I did a video recently where I actually talked about the best grading company, the best third-party grading company out there. And the truth of the matter is that there isn't one, because none of them are perfect. The question becomes, which is the best one for you, and what is your personal preference? Because it's not about me. It's not about me. I was talking about publisher crossovers, but I'm good with crossover titles, specifically Spider-Man. Yeah. So, oh man, let me see if I can. I don't do publisher crossovers, not at all, not in any way, shape, or form. There is a Spider-Man X-Men crossover that I'm actually going to be reading. Someone sent it to me as an AOK that I actually need to take a look at. The challenge with Spider-Man is that he's always in somebody else's issue, like especially back in the 90s, right? He was always in somebody's stuff. So I would need to think about whether there's a good Spider-Man crossover that I can recommend, but none are really coming to mind, versus he was in this issue of that book and that issue of this book. And, so I will tell you, like right now, I'm reading the current run of Daredevil. I'm reading the current run of Daredevil. Shout out to those of you that recommended that I'm reading it. And there was an appearance of Spider-Man in Daredevils. It's not really a true crossover, but he appeared, and it was really well done. I think it was, what did he say? The best of us. It is the best of us, is what Daredevil said about Spider-Man. And that was actually a really good crossover. And I can't remember what issue it was. Maybe 7, 8, 9, something like that. Really good. And he was only there for like a page or two, but it was a really good read in my opinion. So let me give some thought to that, Mario. And if you want to hit me on Instagram, if it occurs to me while I'm noodling things, I will definitely message you back on IG and let you know if I have some recommendations. Other people are in here right now that are hanging out. If you guys know of some good crossovers between publishers and or crossovers between titles involving Spider-Man, put them up for Mario to be able to check out, because I am drawing a blank right now. Scrolling down. Online garage maybe at some point. Like I said, there are some things that I'm actually working on that if I can make magic happen, this is a strong possibility. That is a strong possibility. I did the mystery boxes. I don't know if I want to do that again, right? And part of it is because everyone does a mystery box. box. Everyone does a mystery box. And as you guys know, I try to do some things that are different, which is why I did like box cutters. No one else was doing box cutters, right? So I did box cutters because it was different. And I'm also working on some other things that are very different and very unique to my channel, versus, you know, doing what other folks are doing. And so that's the stuff for me that keeps it fun, because it's not necessarily about the money. It's more about the experience, and it's about doing some things that are a little bit different. So you can mail it in. You can mail it in, brother. You can mail it in. All right, so we're going to wrap this thing up. I have a new video. New video is dropping in 9 minutes, and I definitely want to encourage you guys to check out that video. It's actually a pretty good video, I do believe. It is dropping at 3:30 Pacific time, 9 minutes from now. There are 80 some of you in this chat right now, and I want to encourage you guys to do a couple of things. Hit the thumbs up button. Show the brother some love. Be sure to check out EGS's 10% off offering that they put up here by using the code Regie Collects. And I think Tony put in the, missed it if he did, but I'm guessing he put in a link to his website in there. So check that out. And then make sure you guys check out the video that is going to be dropping in just a couple of moments here on the channel. It's a pretty cool video, and I definitely want to encourage you guys to check that out. All right. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. I hope that you enjoyed let me get this off the screen. I hope that you guys enjoyed our time together, talking a little bit about what DC is doing in terms of this donation of $250,000 to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation. We talked a little bit about what Jim Lee is actually doing with his auctions on eBay, 3-day auctions where he is auctioning off his fantastic art. I wish I wasn't poor and could actually get something. And we also spent some time talking about the CGC private signing with Clayton Crane. So if you guys missed any of that, if you came in late and you missed any of that, I want to encourage you to go back to the start of the video and check that out, because there's also, like I said, some really good content that I tried to cover off on. If you guys need to reach out to me, you can do it on Instagram, which is my preferred, and you can find me at Regie Collects. Or if you need to send me an email, you can get me on email at reggie@regiecollects.com. If you're feeling frisky, if you're interested in getting some discounts and things like that from some of my strategic partners, you definitely want to head over to the website, regiecollects.com, for all of that information. Take care.